Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sophia Miriam's Foundation Youth Forum. Let's talk some sense. Today, we have Nevs Corner, and I will now introduce you to Nevada Aliyah Claxton, who will be your host for this session. Welcome, Nevada.
Hello, and welcome to Nevs Corner. I'm your host, Sophia Miriam Foundation Global Youth Ambassador and resident voice of Good Trouble, Nevada Claxton. And I'm joined here with my co-host,
Louise. Hi, I'm Louise and I'm Nevada's co-host, as she did say very eloquently.
And the rest of our crew.
That's us, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
No? Okay.
Okay.
I'm Gavin. Nice to meet you guys.
I'm Jody. Nice to meet everyone as well.
I am Tyrell. It's a pleasure to be here.
And we're here to give you the space to also be a voice for change, joy, and all things troublesomely good. I want to start off just by saying thank you for tuning in today before diving into today's topic. So we took a look at this quote by Theodore Roosevelt, and it was a part of a 35-page speech titled Citizen in a Republic, and it goes something like this. A notable excerpt from page 7 is a passage referred to as the man in the arena. In this, he says, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while doing greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And that's a lot of big words and just a lot in general. And I guess now it's our job to kind of figure out what that means to us as individuals. So who wants to go first?
I think our wonderful host should go first.
Please don't make me go first.
Should I go first?
Yeah,
that will make you a lot more comfortable.
Go for it.
So I guess reading this quote and seeing how it's said quite nicely by Theodore Roosevelt. I think what he's trying to say is that if you've not done the hard work and if you haven't got any kind of merit to say that you've done any kind of hard work, then you can't kind of diss anyone or put anyone else down that is the face of that hard work. We say that a lot with the bourgeoisie or the upper classes that exploit the work of the lower classes, for example, these billionaires that we have. That's kind of imply that they're self-made. I think it was Forbes who said that Kylie Jenner was a self-made millionaire, where she has all these people who are actually not risking their lives, but working in the factories and getting these ingredients so that she can have all the credit. But in fact, she shouldn't have the credit because she herself isn't, again, going out there, having their face marred by dust and sweat and blood. And we see that a lot. Jeff Bezos, he can't really say that he is self-made. All he did was come up with the idea of Amazon, make it a monopoly, and then be at everyone else in the market and then try and say that he is where he should be, where the people who should be getting the credit and the merit and all these, all the money are the people who actually work in Amazon, who are my brother-in-law. He works at Amazon, and he told me that they can't really do much. They can't really take breaks. They don't get paid that well for what they're doing. But Jeff Bezos gets all the credit, which I don't think is very fair. And I think the quote is basically saying that if you aren't putting in the hard work and if you are taking the credit for someone else, just stop, essentially. That's what I interpret it as.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying about that. It's pretty much saying if you aren't really in the field doing the work, then you shouldn't really be thinking about criticizing those who are, because it's easy to look from the outside and have a lot to say because of what you think may be happening and what you think might be happening behind the scenes. But in truth and reality, what's actually going on is a way different from what you think might be happening. So I think it's like saying we shouldn't give too much credit or like too much attention to those who are like busy on the sidelines talking about people who are actually out doing things that make people sit on the sidelines to talk about it, if that makes sense, It's like give credit, like accept the fact that, people are in positions and are actually putting in a lot of work to be where they are. And these are the people that deserve the credit and the kind and like attention and like the praise, and not just because like somebody can put a well-written article together critiquing them and talking about how they're doing this and how they're doing that and how they may not be doing this and how they may not be doing that, just because that in itself is going to attract people's attention. It shouldn't be the reason that you give it the attention that it wants, Like you should get down to the facts, and we should actually find out if the people that they're critiquing are in fact doing the work, and if they are, then they deserve as much praise as the article would get for critiquing them.
I agree with you, Gavin. But to me, I don't know if it's a different view, but the main thing I got from the excerpt was don't ever judge anybody off of what they're doing. Don't sit and watch somebody and expect their outcomes to be the best because you don't know the options that they have. From reading it, I see that, you always have an onlooker, that one person that might comment something, but they don't know the options you have to choose from. So it's basically don't judge anyone. Keep your ideas to yourself. There's positive criticism, if that's, I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So you mustn't judge anyone for what they are doing, but try more to give a positive opinion. Because it said, just 1 second, I'm just reading it. Because it said you must not, the onlookers. Like, we all have onlookers, and sometimes they're not the best. Sometimes they don't want you to get the best out of it. But the majority of it is just to keep doing your hard work. Nobody really knows. Even if you fail and you have to start over, it's not really anything that you started from scratch again. It's more of a, you know where you went wrong and you know where to fix. And even at your achievements, you would, people would still watch from the arena and say, yeah, he could be better. But they don't know the options you have to choose from.
True. What about you, Jenny?
Okay, so I hear everybody. I understand what you're saying. And I agree with everybody's points. But sometimes I think that persons that... So there are two types of people that open their mouth, right? There are those that genuinely just think, oh, okay, yeah, that's easy and I could do it if I ever choose to. There are those people that just basically talk a bunch of air. And then there are persons that were there, I guess. So maybe they see potential and, they see, okay, yeah, maybe you could do this a little different. You could do this a little better. But I totally understand and get, like, you don't know somebody's options. You don't know where they were coming from. You don't know what they had to do to get there. So best just, if you're looking and cool, but keep your thoughts to yourself. But sometimes I genuinely think that even persons that are talking air, I believe everything happens for a reason. And I believe people make comments and statements simply because we have mouths and we use them when we feel like it. But sometimes the unnecessary commentary is what fuels us to do better. And then the constructive criticism, positive criticism, also fuels us to do better. So it's really and truly to take what you want from it. Because we at a point now where it's like saying what you want is like, okay, yeah, go ahead and do it. We at that point in society where it's just, yeah, okay, no problem. I have a mouth, I'm going to use it. I have fingers, I'm going to just put whatever I want on the internet. So really and truly, it's what you take from criticism or anything like that. Because, yeah, you're doing the groundwork. Yes, somebody is working hard, but everybody's going to talk. So it's highly and truly, and it's just up to you to take what you want from it, because it could be somebody saying something really stupid that's going to motivate you to do better or find a new way to do something. Because I think we forget that people from higher up or the higher classes, yes, they exploit workers most times, but the company had to start somehow. So they would have been where we are. right? And then sometimes because they get all the way up there, they forget that, okay, yeah, I was once there. Or maybe they see your potential from where they are, that you could do something better. So again, criticism and anybody looking on is, I guess, what they see, and it's highly dependent on you to take from the situation. So that's my thoughts.
Definitely, because like there's always going to be people in the arena.
Yeah,
And I guess
it's true, man.
it's learning to who you're actually kind of going to give those front row seats to, and who is going to be in the front row seat that you're going to have to decide to kind of tune out. Because like there are always going to be critics. There's always going to be criticism, and like you can't avoid those words. But then you can also, and as hard as it is, because it kind of is the human condition to take things to heart sometimes, but you kind of can't let those who don't dare to do anything close to the stuff that you do to get you down and deter you from achieving what you want. Because we're gonna do things in life that some people are gonna look at and go, no, that's crazy. Like, there's no way you're ever gonna be able to like achieve that or achieve this. And we might actually do it and get somewhere, but they've said all this stuff and they've had the most to say, but they've never dared to take a chance. And then it kind of comes to, like, at the end of the day, if you're not in the arena getting your butt kicked, then your opinion doesn't matter. Because like at the end of life, we're gonna get to a point where we went, hey, at least we did it, regardless. And they've probably avoided 95% of the things that they wanted to do just because they weren't willing to kind of dare greatly, like Theodore Roosevelt said.
Yeah,
Agreed.
it's true. But then when you talk about like daring greatly, do you feel like even when it comes to people who are, I guess, stepping out of like their comfort zones, do you think that they even gets to a point where they start comparing different people who are daring to do things against each other? Like, let's say if you have, like, they do it in sports all the time. You have people, obviously, everybody is trying to be like the best athlete. Everybody's trying to be the best footballer. People are trying to be the best basketballer. But do you feel like they start to create narratives where you have two people who are trying their best to be the best in their own way against each other and sitting on the side just to get like some kind of, like, what do you feel about that?
Definitely,
Like
like
comparing people who are like two or more people. Yeah.
You see it a lot in like pop culture and stuff, especially like in.
Sorry, I cut you off.
In like no, it's fine. In like stan groups and stuff. Like I guess Louise, you could talk about that. Like, kind of like you open Twitter sometimes and there's like one group arguing over like this other group, but they're kind of both great in their own way, and they've dared to do some great things in their own way, but everyone's kind of finding a way to pit them against each other.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time, this might be a bit different, but like tokenism might come into that. Like when it comes to someone being the best, it's always selected by someone. And especially in media, I've been looking at a lot of how in media we can only have one of one thing. And like I know, for example, like say for example, like BTS, they're being tokenized at the moment because it's like there can only be one K-pop group who are actually being endorsed, whereas there's like a plethora of talented groups in everything. Like in acting, you see it, in sports, you see it. There can only be like one person who's been given power by the media. But then these other groups are like trying really, really hard at the same time but aren't getting the same accolades. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Is that what you meant, Govin?
Yeah, it's basically like that, you know? Like that I think, yeah, that's basically what tokenism is, right? The whole idea of there can only be one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new word for me. So just making sure. Yeah, but that was basically what I was saying. Like you see it all the time, and like it's not it like it extends, like not yet, like people have to deal with not just critics from people who like have something to say about their hard work, but then you have people who have something to say about them in relation to the hard work of other people, you know. And
like they only got there because their families come from money, or they only got there because
Yeah.
they come from here, or they're like, just let people, like, I think that in that case, like, context does really come into it. Like, if you are from an affluent background and you are letting that affluency give you a leg up in life, then can you really say that you did it all by yourself? That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of. But I mean, like, even then, there's still, like, you can't really, like, say just because, like, they came from an affluent background, like you were saying earlier, the Kylie Jenner thing, just because they come from an affluent background, and, like, we may feel like, you know, they may not be putting that amount of work behind the scenes. In Kylie's case, you have to consider, like, she's into, her brand is, like, pretty much fashion, lifestyle and that kind of thing. So you have to consider, like, she probably puts in a lot of work when it comes to, and has to probably deal with a lot of things when it comes to maintaining a particular type of image. Even if, like, she's doing surgery, she may be doing surgery and that kind of thing, you have to think about, she has, like, her own, she may have her own personal issues dealing with that she has to hide away from, to make sure, like, Kylie Cosmetics still looks like Kylie Cosmetics, to make sure, like, you know, her Insta feed is still up, because that's basically where her money is. So I mean, it's kind of easy to say, like, you know, all she's really doing is just taking pictures of herself, wherever, promoting her Kylie Cosmetics, wherever, and being involved in, like, the top stories, whatever. But it comes, like, all those things require a certain type of tact, you know. So even for, like, people who are affluent, they still have, you know, their own types of games to figure out to maintain their position when they do get there, even if they help a family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Wait, Jodie, were you gonna say something?
Just a second. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
So, I
think my nieces might bust through my door any second now. So if you hear any children, that is why. I just wanted to say before you started talking.
That's completely fine. I was slowly watching my aunts and sisters sneak out the front door, so it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. Comparison is human nature, and greed is human nature. Negativity is human nature. We notice all the bad things first. We like self-validation comes from I did this better than her, or like I upped this, like one upping. It's a leg up something. So that's kind of like how we say, cool, we were accomplished, we were fulfilled. I did better than somebody, so it's putting somebody down. So, you know, the idea of there only being one of something is kind of impossible, because like everybody mocks everybody. Everybody kind of just tries to remake or replicate or take somebody else's idea and do it better, just so they can say, okay, well, I did what you couldn't do. So for example, drawing back to the Kylie Jenner reference, she comes from a whole family of like models, cosmetics, and whatever. But how is it that her brand makes the most? That has to me. I mean, yes, Kim is like the face and the star, whatever, but her brand makes the most. Her brand is the most successful. She is the richest. She was the youngest on Forbes. I don't follow these people, but I took an interest to her in particular because her tactic was, to me, it's like everybody's like, oh, she's trying to be her sister, but in actual, well, you can't be trying to be a sister, but you, right? Kylie, to me, just does what she wants when she wants and whatever. And by technicality, is the most human out of all of them. So that would have been her edge where she is. She was, I guess, the like less, oh, I want to, it's all about me type of thing. So really and truly, it's like, it's basically a mindset, because you can only, sorry about that, you could really and truly get as far as your perspective and as far as gratitude will take you. So the second you stop trying to make numbers and compare yourself to somebody or compete with somebody, I think that's when it's like you reach a different or like actual success, because you realize that your biggest competitor is yourself. your biggest competitor is yourself. That's like, because I mean, you're born alone, you're gonna die alone, you're facing judgment day alone. So why are you trying to justify your actions, or why are you trying to be somebody else when in actuality you are answering for yourself later on?
It's true.
That's basically how I look at it.
Yeah.
There's this
I agree.
there's this like stoic belief that you can't control how good someone else is going to be, right? If they're going to be good at something, they're going to be good at something. And kind of when you compare yourself to them, you're trying to be this kind of level of success that you can't control. And you can only kind of control yourself and your own skill. So the only real measure that there should ever really be is improving, because there's no point in trying to control kind of to be to their level when that control should be truly within yourself. So that what you said is like spot on.
Agreed. I like how you phrased it. That yeah, well done.
Oh, don't thank me. Thank the Stoics. That's all on them.
Piggybacking off what Jodie was saying, do you feel like people give different people power when it comes to like, because you know how with the whole back to the Kylie Jenner thing, I feel like the only reason why she was actually that big was because of the whole lip kit thing, and she was like, you can get lips like mine. I feel like it also has to do with the power that other people give you, because I feel like if this was like maybe 10 years ago, or like 2015 was when her lip kits were really, really big, about that time. I'll say maybe it was like early, like 2010 to 2011, it wouldn't be as big. So I feel like also the question has to do with how the power that you give people and the power that people give you. So I feel like with Kylie Jenner, it was very much like a give and receive thing. She was like, I'm going to give you the secret to how I look like me, and in return, you give me your coin. It was kind of like that. Just riding off what you were saying.
So basically, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, you could feed off of people's energy, and, you know, everybody has an inspiration. But to me, I think we really need to stop trying to replicate people. Like, it's so annoying because, I mean, I can't be the only person that scrolls through Instagram, and I start to feel like I'm looking at the same thing over and over and over. And then I'm a photographer. So to me, it's annoying. I mean, I'm grateful when a client can tell me what they want, but it's really annoying when somebody comes up to me and they're like, they want to replicate this. I'm like,
yeah.
You're really going to pay me money to retake a picture that was there? Seriously? That's not making any sense. Could we please put like a kind of personal something on this? And they're like, no, this is exactly how they want it. And I'm like, we're really going to spend money to replicate something? That makes no sense when you could make something of your own. I mean, I completely understand like somebody being your inspiration. Like, oh, I like this person's body type, or I like this person's business model, or I like this person's style. Like, oh, okay, their aesthetic is really cool or whatever. That's fine. But none of us were put here to be somebody else. We weren't put here to be the next this person or be the next that person. We were all put here for a particular purpose. So to me, it's like the energy that you are taking and putting into trying to be somebody else, you're taking away from your actual mold and your actual purpose, because now you are resculpting yourself or reinventing yourself to be somebody that you are actually not supposed to be. And you're wasting time. So I genuinely think we need to reinvent for everybody that thinks like trying to be somebody is something. Bless you. I think we need to reinvent like inspiration. That's the best way to put it.
I agree.
Like let's use people as benchmarks and let's like try to be them. Like, how about that? Let's try that.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Templates kind of, you know?
Yeah. But I feel like at the same time, the way how the media works is that they want to sell you an image that you can try and replicate, and they can try and sell you products to kind of make you into that image. There's a child.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So like what you were saying, I completely agree. Like, I'm not going to be here like, I disagree. No, I completely agree. We should all be individual people because we are different people. There's not going to be any same person on this planet twice, 7 billion people, not the same person twice. But I feel like at the same time, what you were saying is how you'll scroll through Instagram and you'll see a lot of the same thing. I think that's like where the problem starts, is that we're kind of told you have individuality, but then they're like, but you can't do this, or be this, or have this kind of physical feature, or do this, or be into that, or be this age or that age. Like, we're told that we have so much freedom as people.
Yeah.
When we try and explore that freedom, we're ostracized. Or when you conform too much, you're ostracized. Then when you try and find that perfect balance, you're ostracized. So you can't do much unless you are this like small percentage of people that are actually the trendsetters. Like, how there's that thing that fashion comes around every 20 years.
Mhm.
I don't know if anyone's familiar with Emma Chamberlain on YouTube.
Oh, no.
Anyone's familiar?
Yeah.
No.
Basically,
I'm not familiar about it.
basically, she's this girl, and people are kind of claiming her to be like the trendsetter of Gen Z. But I was like, people doing this 20 years ago, 10 years ago, there were people doing it and they just weren't getting the same accolades because they weren't the way what the media defines as like the ideal type, which is tall, skinny, white. If you want a tall, skinny, white girl, in the eyes of the media, you're not really doing much unless you are the token person that they're like, no, but look at this, we have diversity. You can be this alternative tall, skinny, white girl because we have a tall, skinny, brown girl instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like individuality in that sense, in the whole like media, in a way, it is a sold idea as a, like the same thing as like, I don't know, I can't think of anything on top of my head, but it's a sold idea. But in theory, we should all be individual people. But because of the media and conglomerates that like to just tell us that, give us contradicting statements, it's hard to be individual.
It's basically like they tell you have choices, but the decision is already made for you.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's kind of like
with
a bad multiple choice like test, to be honest, if you think about it.
how the answers will be close. Like all the answers will just be close and be off like one. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, just so it is.
We've definitely, like, as a generation, kind of compromised things that made us like really cool individuals to almost kind of fit a brand or an aesthetic. Like,
Yeah.
I'll stop doing this because then I'll be more of a Brandy Melville girl, or I can't be a Brandy Melville girl if I saw that look on your face, Louise. I can't be a Brandy Melville girl because I like skating. Or if I dye my hair this color, okay, I guess now I'm alternative and like Doc Martens are these kind of people, not these kind of people. And it's like, why can't we
like gatekeeping,
like it? Huh?
Yeah.
Like gatekeeping, like how people
gatekeeping.
gatekeep certain aesthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second you
gatekeeping
don't
like
fit
that.
it, like
It's
in
gonna
a
stop
box.
I'm not going to lie.
Wait, oh, my internet. Wait, go ahead, Jody. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I was head-bent on keeping like particular numbers and growing my numbers on Instagram and on my socials. So I kid you not, I would ask them everything. What do you all want to see? What do you all want to this? Not even my hair color. I mean, yes, it's black right now, but at one point I was like really into like dyeing my hair. And I'd literally ask them like, what color y'all want my hair to be? What y'all looking for? What kind of content? What this, what that, what the other? And the first time I did something for myself, which is when I chopped off all of my hair, I lost followers, my viewings went down, and I was like, oh God, what am I gonna do? And I kid you not, every 2 comments would be like, grow back out your hair. And it was annoying. It was so annoying. And then I realized, I was like, okay, you need to stop trying to hit numbers because that's not what you came on like socials for. You wanted to share your art. You wanted to be a creative. And you got so caught up in trying to fit a mold and look like this person and be as successful as somebody else that you actually lost yourself in the process. So let's try trying to be yourself again and whatever. And not gonna lie, my Instagram took a hit for it. It took a bad hit, but it's fine. That's okay because I'm content with me now. To me, I like me now. And I miss having colored hair. Maybe I'll go back to just not with their opinion, you know. But
to me, the loophole for social media and making like decisions, because honestly, there's one to different opinion from people that you think follow you and you interact with on social media, is to make them make decisions from the decision you already make. So instead of like, I don't know, like not to like compare your hair color to anything, but I think like, okay, let's say I'm big on food now. So, you know, you're trapper, where to eat at or where would you recommend?
Yeah.
But you're trying to, like, what I think is like the loophole for that is to actually put the places you truly consider.
Yeah.
And let them choose what you already have or what you consider to be your opinion. And although you don't need to agree with what they choose, you go with always what's for you. But to just let somebody know, like, that is how, like, I think that's how you build interaction, to let them know that, okay, you might have a chance to interact with this.
Yeah.
Or your opinion might actually be like a decisional factor.
Yeah.
But the decision is already made. And like, to me, it comes back to the Kylie Jenner, same thing you're saying, where like, okay, we have the lip kit and this lip will be exactly like yours, but it's not really the same thing. But the decision is already made for you. Like it have no different outcome, but the decision is already made. But just the thought that you could click this one thing and it might actually, cause I sure Kylie Jenner not seen a vote on a poll. But the fact that you vote, you think that she's going to consider this. And like that's a little loophole now. Like to me, for social media, you need to have your options already planned, but just let people think that the decision is up to them. But the decision is already made.
Yeah. Well, I learned. I learned. So, yeah.
It's kind of like, do you? Because I've noticed this, like with my Instagram. Have you ever posted like, I don't know, maybe something that's not as kind of like a quote, or maybe just it's the sunset, and you're like, oh, it's pretty. Like, why not put it up? And because we all do it. You check back how many people have liked it. Like later on, like maybe a day or two after, realize, okay, this has got like 72 likes. And then you post like something of yourself and you see like 200 and something. And that immediately makes my brain go, okay, people don't want to see the other thing.
That's every photographer. Like, I kid you not, you're just talking about how we feel all the time. Like, we take our time and we'll put together work or a project, right? And we put our heart and soul into it and we bleed all over our work, right? And then it's like, you see it gets like 67, 70 something likes. And you're like, okay, this 9-hour project that I'm like absolutely in love with, y'all don't care about. And then I'll throw up like a dumb selfie and I'll see like, 249 likes. And I'll be like, your priorities are so screwed on here. Like,
and it come back to the arena. It come back to the whole arena thing now. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know, but okay, it could be something different. But like, they're watching you in the arena, but instead of like how you would say the critics comment on what you're doing, is basically you commented on like you're letting what the critics say affect you now. But like, I don't know where I read this quote before. I don't know even know if it's a quote, but I know I heard it before, and it was like, people could say things that may have an effect on you, but it should never let it affect you now.
Agree.
And it's like seeing like I understand the effects that social media would have and bring it back to the arena, the whole, the man in the arena. You can't really watch somebody live, because to be honest, if you like comparing the different arenas, so to me the arenas would be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So one arena would be Instagram, and this arena would be the Instagram where you only see like the good and the gold things of everybody's life. And people would sit and watch and they'll be like, wow, maybe she is living a lavish life and maybe she is living like that. But Twitter is where, that arena is where people actually, okay, you might be more vocal because you're solely using words. And coming back to, I think it was Gavin that spoke, or Gavin or Louise that spoke about, like, people that be like arguing on Twitter, and it's like, you all are basically of the same group, just can't decide where it is, and you're commenting on someone's, like, you in the arena, and they are commenting, it's like, bro, you're not supposed to do that, that's not cool, that's not it. And like the Facebook arena is something totally different. That's where your aunts and your uncles is like, wow, like, they are your main supporters. Yes.
I don't tread on Facebook. Like I kind of forgot my notifications so off on it. And it's only because my mom texted me the other day, like, I tagged you in something. I was like, what? On what? She's like, Facebook. I was like, okay, let me go check it. And I realized I genuinely don't use it because that's just like the land of bandwagoners. So I'm not even going on there. But I genuinely, to me, social media will be the fall of our generation. Because we no longer thinking for ourselves. It's like you think you have an idea, but the actuality is it was planted by somebody else. And we so head-bent on like checking our stats and the figures and our likes and whatever. We're basically robots at this point. Everybody's depressed. Okay? Like, I mean, even if you wasn't diagnosed with like depression, everybody's depressed.
And don't forget, you're in the middle of a pandemic.
Exactly.
It's like a bad Black Mirror episode.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
honestly.
That's exactly
Look,
what
like
it is.
honestly, man, you couldn't script it. It's like let's create this virus. Yeah, it's like let's just create this virus and then let's make sure everybody keeps them inside, but we'll put depression as a side effect, or like we'll escalate depression just for views.
Do you know that?
You know, something like that.
Where she had like everyone rates each other, and it's like I think it's Nosedive, the episode Nosedive, and she is like a 4.3, like she's almost a 4.5, but she does one bad thing and her rating goes down, another bad thing, and it's just like nosedive.
It just spirals.
It just spirals. That's like how it is. It's like everyone's subconsciously rating each other, and you can't kind of get out of it because you don't know who's rating you. If you like who doesn't like you based on your social media feed, that's like reminds me of what you're talking about. Especially,
no, we need to, I don't know, like, I kid you not, Instagram, Twitter, everything, like, social is just going to be, like, the fall, the plummet of our generation.
Stopping us from ascending to the next plane of existence.
Oh, my gosh. That got deep too quickly. Too quickly.
I would say, Louise.
It's like, this is society if we didn't have that certain thing, and it's like flying cars and all of that. That would be society without Instagram.
I believe that too, but that's a topic for next day. I do believe that.
I was genuinely hoping that all of the bad things that the rule went through last year, we need not mention that year. It's bad luck. But like I think everything that happened last year, I honestly felt as though the world was having a mental breakdown. Like the years before that was like mini anxiety attacks. But last year, like, I remember telling my friend, I was like, listen. But for somebody that actually suffers with mental, like, illnesses, okay, like, no. Everything else was, like, mini panic attacks. And I kid you not, I remember at one point, it was, like, a big trend. Like, everybody just talking about, oh, I want a break. I want the weekend to go on, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then we get to spend an entire year inside. And everybody's just there, like, please let us go back to the office. We now have to confront our feelings. We now have to confront our childhood traumas and everything that was bothering us. So how about we go back out to work? But the reality is, like, everything that happened last year, I genuinely felt as though it was, like, undiscussed and, like, subtle traumas that we have faced for hundreds of years that basically just rose to the surface and we had no choice but to address it. So I genuinely felt as though this was like the reset, because when you have a mental breakdown, okay, you hit rock bottom, you act like the only place to go is up. So to me, it was the reset, and I'm hoping that it was a reset. And just like with grieving and coming back from a situation, it's not going to be like, okay, cool, I had a breakdown and I'm going to be fine tomorrow. No, you're actually going to have to sit and address everything. And sometimes, yes, the same pain like reoccurs, but it's just working through it. So I genuinely am hoping that this was the mental breakdown that the world needed to be better. If not, I'm sorry, I'm moving to Mars because I give up on this planet. I genuinely do.
Maybe 2020 was us getting like literally like massacred in the arena, like full on Roman times, like death. And 2021 is like our opportunity to come back from that and actually dare greatly without
Yeah.
dying. Hopefully without dying.
For sure. Because I mean,
on the way to rock bottom still. That's right.
we could only hope. Because I mean, like, look at something as simple as I think the last year was the year for creatives and entrepreneurs.
I actually agree that.
Yeah, because at one point everybody was like, you know, oh, you need to get your degree, you need to get an ETA for a trusted process, office jobs, that's how you're gonna make money, that's how you're gonna think. And the only people I think that genuinely would have survived was everybody with the quote unquote side hustles.
And to me, like, coming back to, I think it was what Louis said with the whole cycle, like every 20 years.
Yeah.
So when my parents may have what would have been my age, they would have friends that started a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't have been in a pandemic, of course, but they would have friends that started a business and their business would have grown to be something that we know and respect now in, let's say, 20 to 30 years later. And we don't know what the shift change was then. Maybe it was a like something, a great recession or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And now, and like this pandemic was our turn to start as a youth. That's something that could be successful in the next 20 years that people will be like, okay, a next cycle. So I was always telling my friends, like, yeah, there's the time here. But, you know, there's the peak. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this could tie back into what we're just, like, the man in the arena, but when they say, you know, don't, like, the man that tries valiant and who is and shortcomings, like, don't wait for it to be perfect to start it now. Like, people are going to criticize you, watching you in the arena, people are going to criticize you, and don't let the things that criticize in your arena stop you from doing what you really want to do. Like, coming out of the pandemic, well, we're still in it for a very long time. I feel like we're not going to be outside till 2022.
Don't say that. Knock on wood.
I mean,
cross your fingers, shake something. Don't say that.
It's time to specialize in a craft. I feel like now is the time, like, even learn Photoshop, learn Illustrate, do your own graphics.
I love how Louise and I were like, you were like 2022, and Louise and I were like, we cannot, national lockdown.
No, we
not
can't.
till 2022.
No, I will not. It's horrid here.
So don't make us do it.
I feel like y'all will have a worse experience due to the capacity. Well, not capacity. The population. Sorry. Like how large your population is. You all will feel it greater than what we feeling right now, because we could still take a chance, although it's not legal. We could still take a chance online.
Yeah, a little private, that's something.
A little private something. Some, you know, birthdays coming up. We celebrate birthdays.
I can stand for the thanks.
Sadly, guys, this is sadly, guys, they've been blown up my phone. This is where we have to end it, and I'm upset because I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, like it's getting deep. Like,
It's just getting good. Really. But I thank you guys so much for doing this with me, and I hope you'll come back and do it again. And I hope you'll come on my podcast, and we can talk about random stuff for hours on end, because this is just fun. You guys are great. I'm
game.
Let's do it.
No problem.
I'm down if you're down.
I'm game, honestly.
Yo, just send the Zoom link. I'm here.
Yeah, man. Send it.
But before we go around and tell everyone like what your names are and like what you're doing now and where you're calling from. Just so they get to know you before we say goodbye.
Okay, see that.
Okay. I'm Gavin LeBlanc. I'm calling in from Kelowna, British Columbia. Currently studying visual arts. I do graphic design, illustration, photography, videography. I do a little bit of motion graphics as well, and pretty much like anything I can really get my hands on doing. That's it. I write as well. I just try to use my skills whenever, you know.
Live a life.
Yeah.
I'm Tyrell. I eat a lot. I cook a lot. I sleep a lot. I work a lot. I actually enjoy things like marketing. I did management studies in school with a minor in HR and marketing. So I actually kind of study the algorithms a little bit, not too much. What else? I enjoy events coordination. That's on pause because we can't do anything right now. I think that's about it. That's I like to cook. Yeah, I like to cook.
Yeah, you said you like to.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it. So nothing too more, nothing too much. Oh, I'm from Trinidad as well. B18.
I am Jody Achung. I am from Trinidad. I am a dog mom and I love photography. I'm currently studying my degree in business sciences. I am also an events manager. I attempt graphic design. I love poetry. I write when I'm not busy. And right now I am more of the sole caregiver for my grandmother. So I'm always busy. Yeah. So that's me. That's me right there.
Hi, my name is Louise. I'm calling from the always sunny England. I am currently on my gap year, but today I got 2 offers. Well, I got an interview with the university and another interview. I got a call back from one of my dream unis. Woo!
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been buzzing all day. I am a proclaimed activist. I think equality is one of the base things that we all should have. I love acting, musical theatre. I'm trying to think what else. I can do a really cool cartwheel. I can't think of anything else. Gap year, musical theatre. I hope to kind of change the industry from the inside one day and help little Black girls that look like me become actresses and follow their dreams. Yeah.
Oh, big dreams.
Big dreams, man. Big dreams.
I don't know. Do I have to go?
Yes, you do.
I think you should.
Yes.
I think you should.
We all did, yeah. I mean, why not?
Peer pressure. Woo!
No pressure. My name's Nevada, but my family mostly call me Aaliyah. I live in Luton. It's great. It's great down here. Okay, I've got Louise. I spent a lot of my childhood in Trinidad, although I consider myself like the serious third culture kid, and New York is home deep down. I love music, and if I'm not watching Teen Wolf or like Tiny Pretty Things on Netflix, I am 100% sat in the corner of my room writing another song that no one's ever going to hear. And when I'm not doing that stuff, I'm recording my podcast with my friends, or I'm yelling and planning protests with Louise. There is very little in between. Yeah, that's me.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we hope to see you again soon.
Hopefully. Nice meeting you guys. Good
Bye,
chat.
everyone.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Thank you very much, guys.